Anita Moorjani's story is nothing short of extraordinary. Her book, Dying to Be Me, recounts her near-death experience and remarkable recovery from cancer. Anita was first diagnosed with stage 2 lymphatic cancer in April of 2002.
I was very, very fearful, and I thought that this was a death sentence. So during that time, my best friend passed away from cancer, and when I watched her die and she was being treated with chemotherapy, I then said that I don't want chemotherapy because I believed that that was what was killing her. Unfortunately, my health continued to deteriorate, and I finally, when I accepted chemotherapy, it was already too late. So I was rushed to hospital at very late stage cancer. My organs had already started to shut down. At this point, the doctors told my family that these were my final hours, that I probably wouldn't be coming out of the coma. The interesting thing that happened was that I didn't realize that I was in a coma. I was actually aware of everything that was happening around me. I could hear, see, feel everything that my family was doing, that the doctors were doing, and I actually felt euphoric. I felt free for the first time in all these years after being in pain. At first, when I came out of the coma, the first thing was that when my family were really surprised, and then they called a doctor to come in. And when the doctor walked into the room, I recognized him straight away, and he said, "How did you recognize me? You came into the hospital in a coma." And I said, "But aren't you the one that treated me as soon as I came in?" And he said, "Yes, but your eyes were closed." And then I started to describe the procedure, that he was removing fluid from my lungs, and I was choking, and everybody was really surprised. And then I started telling them about the conversations they were having. So everybody was really, really surprised. And over the next few days, I just started getting better and better. They said when I was stronger, they were going to run more tests. But in 3 weeks after I came out of the coma, they ran a lymph node biopsy, and they couldn't even find a lymph node big enough to suggest cancer. But on the day that I was admitted into the hospital, I had tumors all through my body. I had tumors from the base of my skull all the way down to my abdomen, under my arm, my chest, all the way down to my abdomen. 3 weeks later, they couldn't find any tumors. I don't make my book so much about cancer or death as I do about life. My focus is how dying taught me how to live. One of the things I say is that don't wait until you die to learn how to live. And there were so many things that I realized when I was in that coma, when I was in that expansive state, that when I came back, I felt, why didn't I know this before? And I felt if I knew this before, I wouldn't even have got the cancer. I would have known how to live life. When I was younger, I used to always be a people pleaser. Because I was bullied as a child, I always tried to fit in. I was always forsaking myself, making myself small so others could feel big. I always felt that I didn't match up. And I was always contorting myself so that I would fit in with other people. I never felt I fit in, so I was always trying to be someone else. So really the most incredible thing, the biggest light bulb for me, was realizing that I had spent my whole life being something and someone I was not. And all I had to do was to be myself and just be true to myself. And that is, hands down, the most important thing. It's more important being myself than it is to be positive. Because again, if we keep thinking that, oh, I've got to be happy, I've got to be positive, we can actually beat ourselves up for not being happy and positive. So we've got to watch out for that. So always remember, the most important thing is just to be yourself. And if in that moment you're not feeling great, that's fine too. And that was really my biggest lesson.